A passionate instigator and dynamic problem solver, Dr. Kevin Ross Emery, the host of the Dr. Kevin Radio Show, will be taking you outside the box, behind the curtain, and identifying the load of BS we are fed every day. And now, Dr. Kevin.
Hello, and welcome to Thirst Quenching Thursday here on the Dr. Kevin Show, where every first Thursday of the month, I and none other than Matt Connarton live, Unleashed, comes on the show live, and we hash out what's been going on in the world, what's happening, and we call it our Thirst Quenching Thursday because we're trying to quench your thirst for maybe some truth. Because it's a pretty parched environment out there in media if you're looking for some truth. Just the truth. Just the facts. Just the facts, ma'am, as they used to say. We just want the facts. And no one's giving them to you these days. So, Matt, are you there?
I sure am. I am prepared to have my thirst quenched. My throat is like sandpaper. I'm so parched.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask you, do you have any hot topics that you want to make sure that we start by bringing up? Because usually I just start throwing the topics out left and right. I don't even give you a chance to breathe. So what would you like to talk about this month?
I would like to talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about, Dr. Kevin.
In other words,
I like the challenge of it because I don't know what you're gonna go with. So that's part of what I enjoy about this is seeing what you're gonna hit me with.
Okay, so let's start. Well, first of all, I want to make sure that all of our listeners know that this is a live show now. You can be catching this on OMTimes at omtimes.com-IOM. You can be catching this at IPMNation.com. You can also, you may be listening to this till live Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you may be listening to a replay. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you have insomnia on Friday night and you're listening to this, it's already been taped. But that doesn't mean you still can't be part of the conversation. You can be part of the conversation by going to facebook.com/mydrkevin, MYDRKEVIN. Please make sure you like me when you're there. I'm a likable guy. Take my word for it. Don't ask anyone else. They just lie about it. But I'm a likable guy, so like me while you're there. And then you find tonight's post. Matt and I are going to be posting some stuff on top of tonight's post, including Matt has a surprise link to throw out there tonight if he keeps his word. And but you're going to see the post. You're going to see the post for tonight's show. And even if this show has already come and gone live, you can still put comments, and Matt and or I will respond to those comments on Facebook, so you can still be part of the dialogue. If you want to be part of the dialogue and put Matt or I on the spot, or if you want to try to clean us up like a spot and throw us away in a bounty paper towel, you can call 202-570-7057. The job of the Dr. Kevin Show is to challenge everything and everyone. We're trying to improve people's critical thinking skills and see that if we give people the truth, would they recognize it? Because it's been so long they've seen it that they don't know what it looks like anymore. So what do you think about that, Matt? Do people even recognize the truth? Do people even recognize the truth when they see it anymore? What do you think?
Oh, you know how I feel. We live in a post-truth, post-fact era. But so no. But Dr. Kevin, do you want to? Because you hinted about it. Do you want to? Shall we go ahead and announce now because it is up and active? The thing you were hinting about.
Okay, so what you can do is we're going to talk about the thing that I was hinting at in just a moment. But before that, because we're going to leave you on the edge, we're going to leave you on the edge of your chair for a moment, because during our first break, Matt is going to go to facebook.com/mydrkevin, and under tonight's post, he is going to post the link in the comment, so you can go there. And then later tonight, after the show, I'm also going to be posting a link there, but I am not at my home space right now, and so I cannot do that, but I will get that to you no later than tomorrow. It depends on what time I get off the road tonight. So,
Where are you?
Matt,
So mysterious. Are you in an undisclosed location?
I'm in an undisclosed location. I'm a couple hundred miles. I'm a couple hundred miles underneath the surface, in a very at a very secure bunker.
You're
But
like
anyways,
a secret agent or something.
secret agent man,
Agent man.
secret agent man. So
Oh, you went for a second one. Wow.
yeah,
Showing off
hey,
your pipes.
hey, well, my pipes haven't been very good. I spent the first 3 days of January, like sleeping 20 hours a day.
Wow.
I fought with something the whole week between Christmas and New Year's, and New Year's Eve. It just bagged me. I went to bed at like 12:30 on New Year's Eve, and I'm like, this is not good. And I literally got out of bed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, twice a day, every day, long enough to make Jeff something to eat, and went back to bed. And that was my Monday, Tuesday, and that was my January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Oh,
And
what'd you have? The flu?
I don't even know what I had. I mean, yeah, I had some stuff hanging out in my lungs. I had some stuff hanging out in my throat. I had some stuff hanging out in my nasal cavities.
That
and I
time
was
of
keeping,
year.
yeah, and I was keeping it at bay with actually cayenne pepper tincture.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think the tincture I got is 3 or 4 years old, and cayenne pepper is one of those tinctures that actually gets more powerful as it ages. So this stuff, the first like 2 or 3 days, I kept it at bay before I got it really like clawed into me, because I would do some drops of that and I'd shoot it down with water, and I would suddenly breathe, stop coughing. Everything was fine because I had burned the crap out of everything that was trying to get its claws into me.
Yeah.
It was like taking gasoline and throwing something on it and lighting a match.
Yeah,
of course.
if it works, it works. You feel better now? You sound good.
I'm actually back. My throat's still a little on the light side. It's not as robust as normal unless I really push it. But then again, the last 2 days I have been crazed with clients, and so it's been a busy time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you're going to post your link. You're going to make your announcement, post your link. Then I'm going to make my announcement, and I will post my link later when I get home. But should I try to see if I can orchestrate a drum roll or something? I mean, I got to have something that could be like a drum roll, or So I mean, I want something to give this some energy. What have I got? I got to have something. I mean, in this day and age, I got to have something. Matt, I want to do this due justice. You've worked very hard on this, and you deserve to have this recognized for what it is. And I can't find anything that is as fabulous as you are. So tell people what you did.
Obviously. I was gonna say, can you make the drum roll sound? Some people can do that, like kind of flick their tongue to make the sound. I can't do it, but maybe you can. There you go. That was great.
Hey, I do what I can.
You should have just done that, and no one would have known that he wasn't a real drum roll. You're like beatboxing over there. That's great.
Hey, so I have beatboxed for you so that you can make your big announcement. So why don't you go ahead and let us have it.
All right. So it is finally here, the Dr. Kevin and Friends television channel on IPMNation.com. In fact, if you go to IPMNation.com/Dr. Kevin TV, and no, doctor is not spelled out, it's DR, so IPMNation.com/Dr. Kevin TV, it will take you there. It is a 24/7 streaming television channel featuring Dr. Kevin and Friends. There are several hours of programming in there now, and we're going to be adding to it every day. Hours of programming every day will be added to that. So make sure you go there every day, and you can have visual access as well as audio access to Dr. Kevin all day long. Literally, if you'd like, all day long.
Yeah, and, part of it is we get, some of this stuff, because we went through our archives, and I still have to have you go over, because as I have given you the glad, happy, distressing news, depending on any moment when you are when you're doing it, is that I think I found even more stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can get the closest to a drum roll. Okay, well that's all my GarageBand would do, because I waited too long. Yeah.
Nothing's going to top the drum roll you've already presented us with, Dr. Kevin. It was just it was a drum roll.
Oh, hey! Can you hear that? It's a finger drum roll.
Typewriter.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give it up while I'm behind. Anyways, so the Dr. Kevin channel. Some of this stuff goes back 20 years, 20.
Oh yeah,
25 years.
You showed me one video. You showed me one video where you looked like you were about to go play with a rock band. You had the long blonde hair. It's like, seriously, you look like you stepped out of a rock video. It was great.
So these are some of the things, some of my shows, some of my lectures. I've even thrown some workshops on this, some classes that I've done and things like this. So we're going to have that. We're going to see that out all over the place. Thank you so much for creating this for Dr. Kevin and Friends.
You're welcome. Thank you for being a part of IPM Nation. You're one of the IPM Nation originals.
And we'll be right back with Matt Connarton here on the Dr. Kevin Show.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Mother, Mother Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Buffett. West Indian manatees are one of the most unique animals on Earth, and we're still finding out so many new things about them. But manatees are endangered, and many of them are killed or injured each year because of watercraft collisions or other human activities. You can help save these gentle marine mammals. For free tips on what you can do, call Save the Manatee Club at 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show here on OMTimes Radio. Also, You can see us on IPM Nation, IPMNation.com. This is a live show, so if you're listening to this at between 6 and 7 Eastern Standard Time on a Thursday night, you can call in and be part of the conversation with Matt Connarton from Matt Connarton Live. Matt Connarton Unleashed. I keep on calling it Matt Connarton Live. I don't know why I'm doing that.
That's okay.
But both Matt and I are on live, and you can call in, or you can come to the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/MyDrKevin, MYDRKEVIN. And when you are there, you can like me. You can also see tonight's post, and you can make comments on it. You can get the link. You can be one of the first ones to get the link to the new Dr. Kevin and Friends Television, which is now here, and we have liked it. IPMNation.com/Dr. Kevin TV, DRKEVIN TV. Or you can call in 202-570-7057. Said in my best radio voice.
Yes.
Hey, Yeah, you were saying I was one of my dulcet tones. You were saying, I was one of the originals. Yep. So, as we cut to air, IPM Nation's been on how long now? I know I've asked you this before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, almost 10 years. We launched it in 2007.
Yeah, because I know I've been on radio for over a decade, and I was already on radio. I already had shows going when you launched it.
Correct. Yeah.
But I think I was probably in my second year of radio at that point. The other thing you can find at Dr. Kevin, if you come there, is something that I wrote. Now, did you see the thing I wrote about gratitudes and blessings of 2016?
Did you post? When did you post it today?
Oh no, I posted it a few days ago. I posted it around New Year's Eve. It was actually a piece that I wrote.
I found it. I just found it. I'm looking at it right now. I see it. Yeah.
Yep. I'm so tired. I was so tired by the end of it of people going, I just can't wait for 2016 to be over. I can't wait for 2016 was the worst. It was the worst. I feel like I'm sounding like Donald Trump. It was the worst year ever.
But it was huge.
It was huge. It was a huge year for the worst year ever. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Do we not hear that to some degree at the end of every year? Really? Don't we? Isn't there always somebody whining about it?
Well, of course. I think to varying degrees. This year obviously was especially upsetting to people who don't like Trump, and of course, and there seemed to be a lot of celebrity deaths. Although I think that's true every year, but this year there seems to be more of them. But although I don't know how much of that is just perception, but personally, I've never really, I've never been big on marking time. So to me, it's just another click of the odometer. So I don't really think of it in terms of good years and bad years. It's just all time. That's always been my attitude about it.
People can find this and read it at My Dr. Kevin, or on my Instagram, My Dr. Kevin, or on the My Dr. Kevin fan page. But I'm actually going to take a second and read this.
Okay.
And then I will tell you why. In Gratitudes and Blessings, 2016, I bless 2016 and gratefully thank it for all it has brought me, taught me, given me, and taken from me. I celebrate the people's lives that moved on in their evolutionary paths, going home only to return at another time in another place, wearing a different face. I celebrate the love that came back to me, that has become all the things that I wanted that it could not be before. I thank my country for exposing how deep its wounds are, how intensely in pain it is, all the anger, violence, hate, sorrow, and grief that shows us how much healing work needs to be done. I embrace the new home, the new life, the new opportunities that 2016 has brought me. I embrace the growth 2016 has provided, even when it was through pain, loss, and struggling. for it has made me a better, stronger, and more courageous me. As you leave me 2016, I thank you from the bottom of my expanded heart. 2017, I eagerly await and welcome you as the best me I have ever been. And I do so with an open mind, loving heart, welcome spirit, and stoked body, all ready to make this the best year ever.
Very nice.
So, yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be funny if you went, boy, that was a piece of crap. Why did you make our listeners listen to that? But one of the reasons I wanted to share it was, I think that there's going to be, on the long run, I think there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of what people want to assign as the disaster of 2016. I think as much as we might not like it, there was a buttload of honesty, and it came shooting out of that butt like projectile diarrhea. But we got to see it. Nobody could deny it. Nobody even tried. And we saw a lot of ugly faces. Huh?
I was going to say it's hard to deny, how did you put it, a load of projectile diarrhea. That was colorful.
Yeah. Thanks. you know I have a way with words.
Yeah.
I like that imagery.
If it's colorful, you should see a doctor, but anyway.
Anyways, it depends on what you were reading. So I think that, it's time. We're in 2017. But if we don't learn something from 2016, then we deserve what we get out of not making change. This is a deeply, deeply wounded, deeply in pain, deeply grieving, and deeply divided country. And we need healers and unifiers. And if we don't get the jackals the hell out of Washington, we're just going to see this repeat. In 2 years, it might be because now Congress has shifted to become that everything but president. Well, it depends on whether he's still president then. But in 2 years, if President-elect Trump is still in the White House, he might not even moved in by that point. He still may be like going between New York and Florida. We're not sure.
Right.
He might just fly right over D.C. and just, Twitter down his instructions.
Yeah.
So, but if we don't start getting some healers in, then I think we're going to see the country start to really actually start to fall apart into pieces. Because if we don't address what we saw that came up this year and figure out a way to have unifiers, and we ain't got them in Washington right now, they're already just getting all attitude pissy face with each other. And this little group is going to stop that little group, and this little group is going to stop that little group, and this little group now is going to make the other little group choke on what they said, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Oh, and let's stir up some more crap about the Hillary emails. Let's see if we can have that as a diversion, because we don't want to talk about what the Russians did. So let's throw out some other stuff. I mean, a light spring breeze, and they can smell the stink of this swamp all the way into Hawaii.
Well, he's going to drain the swamp. It's okay. You believe him, right?
Well, I mean, that's not what we're seeing. We're certainly not seeing it on a Congress level. We're not seeing the draining of the swamp. And we're certainly not seeing it in his cabinet. I mean, how can you drain the swamp when you put the crocodiles in the chair around the cabinet tables? We got crocodiles, we got alligators, we got pythons, we got boa constrictors, we got scorpions, we got vultures. How are they going to drain the swamp? That's what they thrive off. That's what they eat. I mean, how are these people going to drain the swamp? So what do you think?
Sounds like the most dangerous zoo ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the zoo master's a piece of work. But speaking of that, the other thing you will see posted is Surviving the Trump Presidency is a TV special through the Web of Light, under the Web of Light auspice that Matt and I did. Matt, you haven't even seen it yet because I haven't got your copy. But we're going to be posting that. That goes on air. It's available through public. It's local public access is available. I've got some dates here. I don't know how quickly I can find them, but I know it's coming out sometime this week.
Good.
And then I'm going to give you a copy, and I'm going to post the link to the YouTube channel. Now, on public access, they put one of those like black, the expression, you know, with the white writing and the deep voice that goes, the opinions expressed on this show are not reflective of the staff or the this or the that or the stone that's in the parking lot at the local public access channel. None of them have anything to do with this show, just so you know.
Yeah, it's like the most thorough disclaimer ever.
Yes, and they have it both at the beginning and at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't good enough that it was once. They had to put it on twice, one on each side. So we must have done some really good stuff in that show.
Yeah. It was it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that. So I look forward to
go ahead.
Look forward to being able to see it.
Oh, well, and I look forward to the fact that at somewhere around 105 to 110 days into his presidency, we're going to do another show of the first 100-day review.
Yes. That sounds like an excellent idea.
We're going to watch that show. So that show is going to be available to you listeners here on the Dr. Kevin Show. That link will also be on Dr. Kevin on Facebook.com/MyDrKevin. It will be available on the My Dr. Kevin YouTube channel under the Web of Light channel. We have stations that pick up Web of Light now from Vermont down to New Jersey all the way over to California. So you may be able to get it on your local access channel, and we're picking up more channels every day. So,
excellent.
So that's really going to get out there, and so look for that. So we'll have that under the link as soon as I can get to that as well. So I did have a lovely conversation with somebody that you know. Oh, you were in the background for it. You were supposed to be part of the conversation, but I don't think much of that happened.
Okay. Who is this? Oh, a cliffhanger.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts Cielito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than four walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer evening. It's everybody over for Sunday dinner. And your family sleeping in their own beds at night. Making Home Affordable is a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show here on OMTimes Radio, also being simulcast on IPMNation.com. You are joining Matt Connarton from Matt Connarton Unleashed, also the founder of IPMNation.com, for our monthly Thirst Quenching Thursday. Matt has made the announcement that you can now, and if you come to Facebook.com/MyDrKevin, make sure you like the page. You can get the link to Dr. Kevin and Friends Television, which has been launched by IPMNation.com/Dr. Kevin TV. Also, later on, you will see a link to Surviving the Trump Presidency, which is a special that Matt and I taped under the auspice of the Web of Light TV show that I do weekly with Angie Dionshu. Or if you want to call in and be part of the conversation tonight, or ask questions with Matt or myself, then you can call in at 202-570-7057. Back to the radio voice.
Wow.
So, Matt, you don't remember part of that you don't remember part of that conversation?
I didn't take the reference at first, but I get it now. I realized, like, as we were going to break, I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about. Okay, I get it.
I was going to say, I was talking about the love of Matt's life, and he was like, no, we don't mean me. The other love of his life.
Yes.
Yes, we had quite the conversation. Yeah, she has gold parts. You don't know what kind of parts I have. You've never peeked. You just assume.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. I did make an assumption, yes.
Yeah. Just keeping it real. So, anyways, none other than Jen Coffee. So make sure you tell Jen I said hello. That was definitely an interesting conversation that we had.
Yeah.
So let's pick up some. So we're going to actually spend some time and go over some hot topics. Also, can we announce the other thing we're getting ready to do together? Are you ready to do that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we've worked out details, but yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay.
If it's the same thing, I think it is.
Well, and if it's not, you'll get with the program. It's okay. I like keeping you off balance.
Yeah.
You always look good.
I'll write. If it's not, I'll write it down.
Okay.
All right.
So I approached Matt a couple of weeks ago for an idea for a. I am thinking, and it's still in discussion, but I think you're probably going to see it come out in February. I don't think we're going to make anything happen in the January timeframe, but we may pull it off, which is a show. Initially, I'm seeing it maybe shooting it once a month. If we get enough stuff going on and we both feel like we can commit the time, maybe we'll do it twice a month. But it's a show. It's going to be a TV show called Neutral News. And Neutral News is that Matt and I are each going to pick a couple of stories of things that are going on where we know that you just have so much friggin' air being blown up your skirt that it's a Category 5 hurricane. And we're going to try to our utmost best to bring you what the real truth of the story is and what actual true impacts are going on. If we think they're tapping you on the right shoulder so they can pull a quick on you on the left shoulder, then we may be reporting that. But Matt and I are both committed that, we have to do something to offset faux news, factless news, what do you call it? Post-fact news? Post-truth?
Yeah.
And so if you're not willing to do something about a problem, shut up and stop complaining about it. And so this is our attempt to do something. Maybe we can at least put some truth out there. Maybe a few people will start to recognize it and go, well, this is not exactly the situation they're making it. Maybe they'll start to say, why am I voting for a liar to go back to Congress? Why am I voting for a liar to be in the White House? Why am I voting for a liar to be on my school board? Why, I don't know. I mean, it might be local news. Matt may come in and say, there's this big story going on in Manchester, and this is what they're trying to make everybody believe. Here are the hardcore facts. I went in and found them myself. I fact-checked them. This is what's really going on, but this is the big brouhaha that's being made about it because nobody wants to deal with the truth. Everybody wants to deal with their, what you always call, follow the money.
That's right.
So we've got that coming up. And then I have a new show coming up, which actually you should be on as a guest at some point. Dragons, unicorns, and other creative creatures.
Yes. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, supporting local artists of any kind. And you fall in that category. Do you not? Yes.
I think I do.
Yeah, you do. And so we want to talk about artists of any kind, singers, dancers, glass blowers, whatever. I want original pieces of work or people that are doing. What's your creative process? How are you getting it out in the world? And I just want to let people know about all of the people that are doing creative stuff in, I'm going to say local areas within 20 to 25 miles of Nashua, Hudson, 30 miles, whatever. I mean, I'm willing to open it up as much as I need to, that it still feels like it's local, or I know that it's local to some of the people that may be picking up the shows in some of the places, because this is a whole completely different show, so it's not necessarily going to be showing in the same places that the Web of Light show is.
And I think it's great that you're doing that, because I think programming like that is really important. I do a show called Local Outbreak, which is it's one of the most popular shows on IPM Nation, and also it's carried on a 100.1 The Planet in Plymouth, New Hampshire, and it focuses on local musicians, from the New Hampshire area. Basically, anybody from New Hampshire qualifies, and it's just anything like that kind of makes people realize, because I think people kind of, not intentionally, but are insulated very often from the great art, whether it's music, whether it's the visual arts, whatever it is that is going on around them. If you're not connected to the community in some way, if you're not active in the community in some way, you probably have no idea about some of the really great things artistically that are going on in your community or in your state or whatever. So programming, like the show that you're going to be doing is a great way to give people here's a resource for you so that you can connect with some of what's going on, and because there's so much talent out there that never gets recognized, never gets the exposure it probably deserves, because there aren't enough outlets that want to really expose and focus on that talent. So I think it's great. I'm very excited about that show.
And, one of the things is I know one of the guests that I have lined up, but I haven't booked a taping date, is a chef. That's a kind of art.
Yeah.
A good chef is an artist. But people don't always think of it that way. And I want to really bring a wide variety. The one thing I'm looking for, and I may change this as I go along, but like if any of the people that are on your Outbreak show, if you went, you can always send them in my direction, because we're going to draw different audiences. But I do like people that are creating original pieces. I mean, I'm not saying there's not something artistic about playing covers, and I understand that's where a lot of people, but I really want the creative flow to be, okay, I can play all the covers, but I'm going to come on, I'm going to play a piece that I wrote. I'm going to have a CD out of maybe it's got a couple covers on it, but it's got at least one.
Hello? Oh, Dr. Kevin, he fell off. Okay. Well, anyway, I will pick it up while we wait for him to reconnect. So you're listening to the Dr. Kevin Show. We're probably coming up on a break.
Hey,
Kevin, is that you?
I am back. Yep. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. I had a glitch that I have to figure out what to do with, because I've got to figure this out at some point. How to not have phone calls come in while I'm on the air. I mean, everybody that knows me, this was actually a spammer. I've got it marked as a spammer. It shows up as a spammer. But unfortunately, the minute my phone starts to ring, but I think that if I put it on airplane or put it on do not disturb, I'm not sure that my Lucy works. So, which is how I call in through this. So I'm going to have to figure this out. I may talk to my producer as well, because this happened one other time too, and I meant to take care of it then, and I completely spaced it. So, I really want, first of all, I want local talent to feel good about being local talent. I mean, I want them to feel good that they have something more than cashing in on somebody else's well-written song or well-written whatever. And I don't care. I mean, it can be a glass blower. I'm going to have, so I'm putting this together. I've got to kind of like the lineup. And Matt, I will, if you're at all interested, I will let you know whenever I am doing this show, whenever I'm taping the show. If you ever want to just pop in and be a guest host with the artist of the day, you're welcome to do that.
It would be my honor. I would love to. Absolutely, please.
Yeah. So, because I want to give them a chance. I mean, and I'm still working some of the format, but again, I think at this point it is so important to promote small businesses, entrepreneurs, individual artists, anything that is out of the pasteurized, homogenized control of the public media, big corporations, and the government. We have to take back that we began this country as a root. The roots of this country were by unique individuals. Mm-hmm. And then those friggin' Europeans came in and screwed it all up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Stupid Europeans. Ugh.
I know. I don't know if they all go back home, except me. I'm an acceptable European. I do have native blood.
Yes.
But, yes. But.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
my great grandmother was a full-blooded Micmac.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about you. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we'll be right back.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show, where we are here on OMTimes Radio. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can come to facebook.com/MyDrKevin, and you can see the little write-up about tonight's show. You can post comments there. We keep checking that. You can also call in because this is a live call-in show. I'm on tonight with none other than Matt Connarton, unhinged.
That's me.
On something.
I had my last name legally changed, so it's now Connarton Unleashed.
Oh, did you?
Hey, when it comes to branding, I'm not fooling around.
Hey, okay. So we have one segment left. We've been having a great time. I don't know how the listeners thought about it, but who cares?
That's right.
I mean, come on. You've got to be a tiny little bit of a megalomaniac if you want to host 2 or 3 radio shows, TV shows, all of this stuff. And we both get a check mark under that category. So, I mean, what do you want?
Well, personally, I have a lot of humbleness and humility, and I like to think that those are 2 of my many great qualities.
No sarcasm there, heard from the audience. I was just repeating something that somebody in the audience said.
Oh, yes, the peanut gallery.
Yes, the peanut gallery. I heard one of the shells crack. I think it was the smile when you said that.
Okay.
Yes. So here is an issue I want to bring up, or something I want to look at that's going on in the world today. I don't know if you've been watching the trial of the guy, and I'm trying to remember what his name was. I had him on a bookmark that disappeared somewhere. But he was the one that went in and shot all the people in the church. You know who I'm talking about?
I have not been watching the trial, but I've been sort of, just it's been in my periphery. I've been sort of paying attention to it a little bit, but I haven't actually watched any of the coverage. Whatever I know of it, I hear on the radio or I see online. But I know that they're trying to they're trying to give him the death penalty, and the defense is arguing that he should just get life in prison, and that's the most recent thing that I heard. So I don't know if there's been anything more since then.
Okay, so Dylan Roof, who now has a page on Wikipedia, by the way. Okay, so here's my thing. First of all, self-admitted racist, no remorse, says he's nothing wrong with him. He knew what he was doing. He thought it out. He did it. Pleaded guilty. Didn't go for I'm an insane charge. He's not trying to cop out insanity or stuff like this. But here is my question. So they have to decide whether they're going to give him life in imprisonment or if they're going to give him the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
The trial basically is over except for that decision. And they have now on their second day of having people that knew or related, knew whatever, that were involved with the people that got killed, to tell their stories of how wonderful these people were and how much that death impacted them or the world or all the good that they did. Sobbing story after sobbing story of trial, of their trials and tribulations because this guy came in and killed them. Mm-hmm. Appropriate or not appropriate? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's appropriate because I think that is probably, I don't know firsthand. I've never been in that situation, but I would imagine that this is somewhat cathartic for the people who are grieving, who want to be able to come into court and say this and express this. So, no, I think it's very appropriate. I have no problem with it.
Okay. So, but is it appropriate that the jury hears that before they decide whether he's going to get the death penalty or that he is going to spend life in imprisonment? Because, of course, part of the case that's being made is they're doing this to absolutely make sure he gets the death penalty, and this is the whole thing. They're really pushing for the death penalty. They want this person, and the death penalty is another whole conversation, because the death penalty has never showed to actually create any kind of resistance to somebody. I mean, like, you know, crime wasn't lower because there was a death penalty.
Right. It's not a deterrent because, I oppose the death penalty, and no one ever thinks before they commit a murder, wait a minute, what's the law in this state? If I kill this person, am I going to be in prison for the rest of my life, or are they going to execute me? It doesn't work that way, of course. So no, it's never been a deterrent, and I absolutely oppose it. And by the way, I don't understand why anyone believes that putting this guy to death is the greater punishment anyway. It's never made any logical sense to me. Isn't the greater punishment that this guy, who's very young, like isn't he in his early 20s?
Yep.
He's in theory got a long life ahead of him. Isn't the greater punishment to make him sit and rot in jail for the next, 50, 60 years? Instead of just executing him and putting him out of his misery? I don't even understand the logical argument for why the death penalty is the greater punishment.
And probably suffer through no shortage of abuses by black prisoners.
Of course.
Not that there's, we both know that black people rarely ever get sent to prison. I mean, it's not like the prisons have many black people in them. Heaven forbid.
Right. It's not like there's any institutional racism or anything. Right.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
But, so on one hand, there is this whole stated manipulation of we're going for the death penalty. And so now, first of all, should any murderer, should there be a healing opportunity for anybody who's a murderer or a mass murderer to just have to sit there for hours and hear all of the tales and let the people who are affected have this, catharsis? This, as you said, probably it's a cathartic experience, because he's not being moved by it. It's not like it's doing anything. He's not like showing up and saying, oh, no, I guess I regret it. Oh, maybe I wished I hadn't shot that one. He's like, I meant to kill him all.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
It's not affecting him.
He has no remorse.
He has no remorse.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna weigh in on the opposite side of this, Matthew. Probably it is a greater punishment to keep him alive, keep him imprisoned. Probably he's not going to have a very fun life in front of him if he lives. But frankly, if I was living in South Carolina, Charleston, if I was living in South Carolina and they were basically telling me that they were closing some of my services off and they weren't being able to afford to do this, and they were raising my taxes because they had to pay to feed this poor, demented, white, racist ass for the next 80 years, I'd say, well, just kill him and save you the money. Why should I pay for it?
Yeah, but
I don't care. It's not a
person. As an informed person, it's more expensive to execute someone than it is to lock them in prison with all the appeals and all the stuff that goes with it. So, I mean, and you know that, but a lot of people don't realize that it's very expensive to execute somebody.
Not if it doesn't get appealed. Do you think this guy's going to appeal it?
There's always a process, and people end up sitting on death row for a long time too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not in all states necessarily. Like Florida and Texas, they try to run them right through like it's an assembly line. They're very enthusiastic about executing people in those states, but in most states, people sit on death row for 10, 15 years. It's which is another thing that's just so strange about the system. But Yeah, I'm just vehemently opposed to the death penalty in general. But why martyr the guy? You know, he's probably assuming he's going to be dead, and he probably doesn't care. And let him suffer.
He may look forward to the death penalty. In his mind,
right,
he may have convinced himself he did a greater good, and he's going to be rewarded for it. Maybe he has his own version of 21 virgins waiting to celebrate him and his accomplishments. Some twisted version of that.
Right, yeah, like maybe he likes seafood and he thinks he's going to get 21 sturgeons. Who knows?
But
that was one of the most bizarre jokes I've ever made.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you set me up for it really well, so I had to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to keep moving right along. That music's going to come on and not soon enough at this point. No. You know.
What, you don't like seafood? I don't.
I actually love seafood, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
So anyways, and that's the music.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon, Matt. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kevin. Thanks, everybody.